Hello. It's December 17. 7 and 7 is 14. 8 days before Christmas. We're getting down to the last week. I don't know, I've been trying to get a special little thing that sticks on the back of the phone from Anchor. And it's a lithium polymer battery, and it's an advanced form of the lithium polymer battery, in the newest format. So it's ultra thin. It's 5,000 milliampere hours, which is, I don't know why they just call it 5 ampere hours. I think eventually they're going to get rid of the milli, because most of the batteries today are, 5 milliamps, 10 milliamps, 20 milliamps, 50 milliamps. Instead of 50,000 milliamps, it'd be 5 ampere hours. 10 ampere hours, 20 ampere hours, 50 ampere hours, instead of 50,000 milliampere hours. You just take the milli and take the 3 zeros off, and it's 5, 10, 20, 50, eventually 100, So what does 5 ampere hours means? Well, at 3.7 volts, or 7.2 volts, it draw 5 amps at 7.2 volts in an hour, and then run out. Or a lower current drawer for, twice the time and so forth. It's not necessarily that the batteries are utilized at 100% of their capacity for just 1 hour. That's just what the meaning of 1 ampere hour means. 1 amp of current drawn for 1 hour at the voltage of the battery. Typically, the output voltage is 7.1 to 7.2 volts. If you had a single cell of the lithium-ion battery, it produces 3.7 volts, as opposed to 1.5 volts for a AA. But a lithium cell, one cell, which is the size of my thumb here, generally. Heck, I'll show you. The batteries that have been used in flashlights in Europe are these right here. This is a lithium-ion cell. Let's compare it to my thumb. It's not a terrible comparison, if you can see. Yeah. But, the voltage of a traditional cell in Europe, which is the 18650, which is 18 millimeters in diameter and 65 millimeters in length. 18650. So that's the AA in Europe. I don't know if they have a smaller battery, but this is the traditional cell that's used, 1 or 2 of these in your standard flashlight. There you go. This is super bright, so I don't want to aim it at the camera. And just for jollies, I have this standing up in my little workstation here, which we call Studio 812. Yeah, that should be our new little nickname, Studio 812, instead of Cafe 812. Yeah. Anyway, so I ordered up for everybody. It's a secret. These Anchor the kind that magnetically stick to the back of your phone, which that technology exists in iPhone 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. That magnetic, that's what I'm putting my phone on, this magnetic charging thing. There's a name for that. The name escapes me at the moment. There we go. So what's going on? So I've just been watching. The Dow is 47,987, down about 126, which is less than 0.25, less than 0.25%. So that's matter of fact, just looking at some simple math here, a 400-point drop in the Dow is like nothing. When drops their pants and say, what the hell? So just so you know, a 470-point drop divided by 47,000 equals, and then we times 100, because we're interested in percent, is a 1% drop. Now, a 1% drop is not catastrophic. 10%, if it went down 4,000 in a day, that'd be a 10% drop. That would be, if it went down 4,000 points in a week, that would be, a pretty decent fall. But a 400-point drop in a day, let's just do that. 400 divided by 47,000 times 100 is 0.85%. Yeah. That's not even 1%. That's 0.85. So, just so you know, when it goes up 100, if it goes up 200, 300, down 200, 300, that's just the normal way. That's like looking out on a calm ocean, and that's just the rise and fall of the tides, as they say. See, what are we, 9 minutes in, and Facebook said goodbye. What does our connection look like? Let's do a little speed test. I thought we were good. But, good is a 4-letter word. Let's look at, we're looking at Flipboard, and I should change the size a little bit so that it's, there we go, perfectly. Yeah, no, we got good signal strength. Good bandwidth, be the right term. Trump orders total and complete blockade of sanctioned oil tankers coming to and from Venezuela. Now here, this is so terrible. The thought that Nick Reiner, the son, a mature person, he looks like he's in his 40s. Rob Reiner's son to appear in court on 2 counts of murder and killing Rob Reiner and his wife. Oh, God. I mean, Rob Reiner, is, as someone calls him, a great American patriot. He's very active in, the Democratic politics, but he wasn't, he wasn't an agnostic against, conservatives. He just had a liberal point of view, and the conservatives have a conservative point of view, according to a good friend of his who spoke on television a few nights ago. And yeah, it was a very decent, look at Rob Reiner. All in the Family. I mean, he was meathead. Yeah. Come on downstairs, meathead. He was married to the, to the acting daughter of another actor in All in the Family. And from there he went on and on, and he's got in TV, and then he got into producing some TV, and then he got into, getting involved in movie making, and then became a producer and a check writer, an investor in movies. He became a director in some movies. And what do you mean you can't tell the truth? You can't stand the truth. Remember that exchange? And All the Good Men or something. I'm not real good at remembering names of movies, but it's just a shame, Rob Reiner's father lived to like 97. Rob Reiner was 77 or 78. He had, in theory, 20 more years of his life if he lived as long as his father. And life got cut short, literally. Jeez. The kid was apparently drug addicted, anger management issues, as we can see in the headlines. Phew. So you're going to see this. Let's get the review. So what Rob Reiner's son said to Bill Hader, who is left here on the screen, to get him thrown out of Conan O'Brien's party. So apparently Nick got into a fight with Bill Hader, who's a comedian who happened to be at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party kind of thing, or Hanukkah party, and let's see, a couple's youngest son attended the comedian's party on Saturday, December 13th, with Rob, who's 78, and Michelle, who's 68. He was brought to the party so that his parents could keep an eye on him, sources told Rolling Stone. While there, however, Nick interrupted comedian Bill Hader with a series of unsettling questions, whatever that means. Nick allegedly asked Hader and several other guests the same question. What's your name? What's your last name? Are you famous? Rob and his son got into a heated argument during the party, with one guest alleging that Rob told his son that his behavior was inappropriate. Another guest told the New York Times that Nick seemed anxious and uncomfortable throughout the night in a way that was deeply unsettling them. This Rob Reiner with his wife at left and daughter on the right. A guest similarly revealed to People that Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, asking people if they were famous. Nick was eventually asked to leave, and the bodies of Rob and Michelle were found 24 hours later. Their son is now facing 2 charges of first-degree murder. So he was on some kind of drug. There's Conan O'Brien, in case you forget. He's a big guy, apparently, because Rob Reiner is not, he's got to be 6 foot tall. So that puts Conan O'Brien at 6'5", maybe, I'm guessing. Nick was always troubled, even in his early turns. Alan Horn, Rob's co-founder of the production house Castle Rock Entertainment. Castle Rock Entertainment's huge. Castle Rock financed a lot of movies. Rob and Michelle kept all of this very private, but they did share with us and others that they struggled with next edition issues, tried everything, and were really at a loss of what else to do. He was in and out of rehab like 17 times. Nick and Rob collaborated on the 2015 film Being Charlie, which Nick wrote and his father directed. The film detailed Nick's own experiences with addiction and his stints in rehab. The father and son duo gave a candid press tour to promote the movie, with Rob saying it was cathartic and therapeutic to make the film. They both learned a lot about each other. But the end result is Nick slit their throats in their sleep. I mean, that's one report I heard, And then they Ellie Wong and Bill Hader attended the 77th Annual DGA Award, Director Guild of America, DGA Awards, Beverly Hills Hotel, February 8th of 2025. Yeah. It's a shame. It's almost every family, or rather every other family, has someone seriously addicted to something. I don't get it myself, but well, my car, that's my Tesla car. It's 90% charged. And there's a software update. In the year 2020, this is the number that's attached to the software update. So you understand what that number means. The first 4 digits is obviously the year. So next year it'd be 2026. But since we're in 2025, dot the 44th week, dot the 25th revision, and then like 5 half revisions thereafter. I'm not too sure how you say it's the 25th update to the 44th week worth of software updates to the vehicle. Yeah. You know, it's in the beta stage, so people can text message, or like if you're doing the full self-driving and you grab the wheel and pull it away from the full, you can feel the full self-driving, the actuators, you can feel it steering the car, for example. And if you see that it's getting too close to the edge, you can get a hold of the steering wheel and pull it a little bit to the left to keep it from going off the edge to the right. If you felt like it was getting too close to the edge for your comfort, you could break it loose. Well, you have to like pull, there's a certain amount of strength, not a lot, but you have to pull it away. And then a message will come up on the screen, and it basically says, why did you disengage? And then you can press the button on the right on the steering wheel and speak to the system and tell it why you disengaged. It was getting too close to the right edge of the road. And that message, along with a short video clip of what the cameras saw during those moments, and that goes back to Fremont, California. Every time someone answers the question on why you disengage the system, I disengaged the system. We just did a round trip to Disney, which is 180 miles north. So 360-mile round trip. So we went up, parked the car in the Hilton Grand Cypress Hotel, beautiful hotel, which we stayed 40 years ago. So we decided to go back and see what it's like 40 years later. It's exactly the same. I mean, it is, every square inch of that place is polished. You wouldn't know that the building was built, like 3 years ago. And it was actually 40 years ago that we were there. Amazing. Yep, everything. There's a couple of very nice dinners there at their fine restaurants in the evening. Had breakfast there twice. And the first day I ordered the buffet, and the second time for breakfast, I just ordered off the menu because I didn't eat that much. Anyway, so we drove up and back using the full self-driving. Basically, from coming out of my parking garage, I said, Marilyn, what is the actual address of the Hilton Grand Cypress Hotel? She said, 1 Grand Cypress Drive or something like that. So I put that in the navigator, and it plotted a course, directly to the hotel from our building. And I pushed start, and it took us right there. And with a rest stop, on the second rest stop on the I guess it was the Florida Turnpike. Yep. It took us up 95, and then we crossed over and they got on the Turnpike, and at that State Road 706 or something like that, just right at Jupiter, the Turnpike and 95 are real close together. They're like within 500 feet of each other, and that's where you get off and then get on the Turnpike, because Disney is over towards the center part of the state. So you take the turnpike up that way towards Yeehaw Junction. But you get off, at whatever exit the system took us off at, and then went through, a few turns one way or the other, heading east of the turnpike. Took us right to the hotel, right up to the lobby. Amazing. Stepped on the brake pedal, and the valet guy gave him the ticket, and he took your Tesla card. If I can find it, it's in here somewhere. There it is. Looks like this. I have it in a red case. I'll take it off with that. So this is inside here is a credit card looking thing. Here it is. You can see it's exactly the shape of a credit card. In this little case, I have my concealed weapons license, and I got my passport card. So there's a photo ID associated with my Tesla card in case I would have dropped this and people opened it up, they could see who to contact. Yeah, and I didn't know where else to put my concealed weapons, so I packed it in here too. But there's a column between the front and rear window, so you touch this to the column and it locks the car. You touch to the column and it unlocks the car. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock. And then you put this down on the armrest between the two front, the driver's seat and the passenger seat. You put it right by the armrest, right on the armrest. That's if you don't have your phone registered to the vehicle, which most everybody registers them. But see, the valet guy, you're not going to give him your phone, so you got to give him the card, because that's the only way he can get in the car. That's the only way he can drive the car back to you. So I keep it in this case. The case is a silicone case. It's thin enough where you can just operate it without having to touch the card. And so it's very convenient for the valet guy. He puts, since the top of this doodad has a little hole, and the valet guy puts a little doodad in there with a little ring with the valet card attached to the ring. And they hang it on the hook like they hang up a set of keys. Anyway, so the full self-driving took the car up and back. And what I'm looking at here is this is the app that, if I looked at the app right on the phone here, see, it looks just like it. I registered, you can register, 10 or 15, I think you can have 5 different drivers, and each driver can have 2 or 3 different things associated with a particular driver. So I have pad as a driver. Everybody that has a Tesla registers their phone with the car. Your phone is your key. Your phone is your key. When you look through, when you listen to all the videotapes, they have like 5 or 10 minute little segments of tapes, videotapes that you can watch. Learning how to drive the car, learning the software, and how to set up the different screens to get the car to drive exactly how you want it to. Setting the mirrors, your seat height, the extension of the steering wheel. You want it up, you want it down, you want it in, you want it out. And you move the mirrors all around so you can look through the mirrors to see behind the car, on the sides of your car when you're making a turn. Although when you turn the signal on, there's a nice bright picture that shows up about the size of the phone on the screen to show you you'd never have a blind spot when making turns with a Tesla, because they're cameras. There's 2 cameras on each side. There's 2 cameras facing forward and 1 camera facing back from the license tag, going backwards. So you got 7 cameras running on the car at all times. So when you touch the signal, like you're going to turn left, you're going to turn right, or you're going to change lanes. When you turn the signal to change lanes, it activates one of these cameras and looks straight back along the side of the car to make sure your lane is clear so you can do the lane change. Or if you're going to make a left-hand turn, you push down on the column stick and the blinker goes on for a left turn, and immediately shows up on your screen a nice big picture of what the camera sees about the position of any other vehicles that might be in your way, either by making the turn or changing lanes. Now, if you're in full self-driving and you want to change lanes to get around somebody, all you got to do is click down on the left signal, and the car will change lanes for you. It looks in all directions, it makes sure it's clean to do it, and it changes lanes for you. Like if you're following somebody that's going 59 miles an hour and you're full self-driving, is hanging behind a 59 mile an hour car, when you're in a 65 mile an hour speed limit. All you got to do is push down on the left turn signal, and the car will pass the slow-moving car and then pull back over in front of that car after it passes it. It's all automated. You don't have to do a thing. Just sit and watch and make sure. It's looking in all directions. It's looking in all directions 35 times a second. That's the refresh rate of all the cameras. So there's a lot of data going into that driving computer. That computer is, I'm told 40 or 50 times faster than the fastest commercial laptop on the market. But it's designed specifically to deal with all the actuators and braking, steering, acceleration, deceleration. All that is operated by the computer. Plus you have an entertainment system that lights up the screen, deals with all the settings the way you want it, and the computer remembers your settings. Anyway, the Tesla person takes, if it's your first Tesla, the people, the nice young ladies and gentlemen that generally assigned to helping a driver get acclimated with their new Tesla, they take you through, most of the basic settings right there. They sit right next to you. You get in the driver's seat, and this nice young person goes through the first 3 or 4 menu settings to get your steering wheel right, get your seat position right, get the mirrors set right, and The only manual adjustment you have for the mirror is the mirror that's up here between, the rear view mirror. That one that's a manual adjustment. Everything else is electronic. Everything in the electric car is electronic, except for that manual rear view mirror that looks back through the rear of the car. Now, if you were to go in reverse, by the way, the camera that's right behind the, what do you call it? Right just above your license plate, there's a camera right there. And that looks backwards. It's kind of a wide angle view looking backwards. So if you were to back up, you got a real good clean view on the screen. It's almost full screen picture of what you're backing up into. Hopefully not traffic. We back out of our parking place, in the morning, and as soon as you put it in reverse, that camera fills up your screen. I mean, it's a good 10-inch picture of what's going on. And I always toot my horn once and then start backing up, assuming there's no one coming or going behind me. It's an amazing system, quite frankly. But, they about every 2 weeks, they're always tweaking it, adding features. Like I just got notice here, see on my phone, and on my phone. See, software update. See, the car thinks that this iPad's a phone, but it's actually an iPad. So, at any time when I have this iPad running, I can look at, for example, location. So there you can see, boing, that is the location of my Tesla in the parking garage of this 200-unit multifamily building I live in called Royal Palm Plaza. Yep. That's an alarm for my blood sugars. I had 7 oatmeal raisin cookies this morning for breakfast, and it's thrown my blood sugar up over 300. Oh, naughty. Mustn't do. Yeah, anyway. If you're wondering what that beeping was. See, there I am there. So here's the car, ready to, be at my beckoning call. And, you can, here's location. So right at this point, you could type in, what is it, the Hilton? Hilton. Hilton Grand Cypress. Cypress. Orlando. Well, you see, it already came up. Hilton Regency Grand Cypress, 1 Grand Cypress Boulevard. So I press confirm that that's where we want to go. And then it's just charted a course right to the hotel. You can see it right there. And there's a charging spot right between that it's going to recommend that you stop at the Port St. Lucie charging spot. Now, at that point, you can see 61%. It's telling me, that when we pull into that Port St. Lucie service plaza, our battery would be 61%, or about 100. I'd have about 130 miles range in the car if we pulled in there. If we go directly in one fell swoop right to the hotel, the battery would be at 15%. So they're recommending you make a stop somewhere in between so that you're not at 15% when you get to your destination. You want to be 20, 30%, 15 is too because you're going to let it sit in a parking lot maybe. In our case, we don't use when we go to Disney, we don't drive all over the place. We take either Uber or cabs wherever we want to go. It's just easier and faster than going to the transportation center, and then you go from there to the communications center, and then you go from there to, one of the 4 themed parks. I'd rather, get the tickets in advance, and go right to the, go to the place where you get your tickets, and then, either take a cab or take the monorail to whatever theme park you want to go to. Yeah. Instead of getting on this bus and then getting on that bus, and when you got to wait 20 minutes for this bus and 10 minutes for that, you waste so much time waiting for things that it's more efficient to just, take an Uber. Yeah. We didn't stay at most times we stay at on-campus hotels. Like the Animal Kingdom Hotel. We've never stayed at the Contemporary because that's like loaded with millions of kids. So if you don't want to get run over by a bunch of 12-year-olds, that's the only reason, because every time you drive, the train, the above ground train goes right through the middle of the Contemporary Hotel. So you can see who's getting on and who's getting off from that hotel, and there's a bunch of screaming kids. Excited kids, So there's a lot of kids when you're in that hotel. So I'd rather stay at a hotel where you don't have a bunch of youngsters floating around that I could trip over or run me over. Anyway, that's my alarm going off again. So you can see, so I could send these instructions right to the car's computer. It's a 3-hour, 11-minute drive. It's 190 miles. 190.9 miles, door to door. So you could, 3 hours is not a terribly long trip. Marilyn usually needs to stop and powder her nose somewhere in between. I can make a 3-hour trip without having to go to the bathroom, but after 45 years of being with Marilyn, if you get an hour and a half in, you're good. Watch, not too much iced tea in, for breakfast. Take tea and pee, hefty, hot, and hearty, as they say. Anyway, so I'm just going to cancel that because we're not going to Orlando today. And I don't want to send those instructions. So here's the car where the blue dot is Jimmy, and the car is right near Jimmy. Although if I zoom in, I'm actually on the north end of this building, and the car is actually parked in the parking garage on the south. It's on the second level of the parking garage. And the blue dot is Jimmy sitting in Studio 812. Yep, there's the car sitting there and parked nose in underneath the swimming pool area. When you're looking down at this building we live in, it's a U-shaped building. In the middle of the U is on the 5th level, elevator 5, is the pool and the little rec building and the seating around the pool and so forth. You get off elevator 5 to go there. Our car is at elevator level 2. And our Studio 812 is on the 8th floor. Anyway, that's enough of this. So I'll close down that application. Now the application is, you're not supposed to close it down on the phone. Your phone is your key. Your phone is your key. This iPad could be the key. Because remember, I loaded the software and everything. Let's go to the App Store, by the way, and make sure the software is up to date. So I'm going to pull down, here's the App Store. Whoops. Right up in the upper corner here, I can see the App Store. And I'm going to shrink this down so you can see all of the App Store. Move it over a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to type the search engine. Here it is. I'm going to type in Tesla, T-S-L-A. And you can see all the Tesla options. So the Tesla app is over here. I'm going to touch it. And see, it says update. I knew the software on this iPad is behind. So I'm going to update it to the latest software. And I can type this button right here. That's going to show what is in the update. What's new. Dog mode live activity. So it's going to tell you if the dog's running around inside your car. If you happen to close your... the car has dog mode. So what that means is you're locking your dog in the car, but the air conditioning system and everything is active. So the car is not going to get overly heated. You don't do that with a child, though. But they do have dog mode. Sometimes I set it with dog mode even if I don't have a dog in the car, just to keep the car chilled so I don't get back in a hot car. If I'm going to be in the grocery store for only a quick pick up something, I'll put it in dog mode. All right, Cybertruck is added that. So, see, so now instead of update, it says open, so we open it. So now we got the new software instead of the old version of this software. Yep, now we can close out of that. It's just some of the, there's so much going on between the software uploads. See, here's a software update. You hit the release note. So I remember I was circling back to what this means. So in the year 2025, in the 44th week, we have update number 25. And there were 5 different revisions of update 25, which occurred in the week 44 of this calendar year. So with this particular update, these are all the things that were added. Let's take a look at just this Grok, which is the Twitter version of, talk to your system. So now you can talk to Grok, which is embedded in the software of the car. And you can now add and edit navigation destinations. So I could just say, Grok, take me to the Hyatt Grand Cypress Hotel in Orlando, and map out the course right for you, right on the spot, rather than me doing it up here and sending it to the car. You can ask Grok to navigate to the best Thai restaurants near you. Go to a supercharger. Order coffee. All right, I'm going to finish up because I think Marilyn got back from lunch. And she has things she wants to talk to me about. So I'll see you later. Bye-bye.